And we are live.
Are we live?
We are live. It says we're live.
live.
Hopefully we're live.
Sweet.
And we're only 5 minutes late today.
5 minutes late?
Awesome.
I know.
Not a bad one.
Not a bad one. So we will start with prayer, as always, yes. And Mum, would you pray for us this week? Thank you.
Lord Jesus, thank you for today and thank you for loving us. Thank you for being so faithful to us. Thank you for providing us a new day and a day to worship and honor you and to rest. Lord, I just pray that you will help us to rightly divide your word. Help us to be able to understand what you're trying to say to us and teach us and grow us in what your word has for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
And isn't it a beautiful new day?
It is.
It is.
It looks nice.
It does. Today is, of course, the 6th day of September, 2025. Or, does anybody know the Hebrew date? Hannah, grab my phone, please, because I do not know it.
What was it last week? So 7 days?
Yeah, I don't remember. I do know that tomorrow is the middle of the month.
Oh, so we're starting
So
a
it's
new
probably
month.
like the 13th-ish or 14th.
15th of Elul?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it doesn't look right.
Yeah, that's our own month. We're in the month before Tishri. Tishri is our fall
14th of
feast.
Oh,
There we go. Thank you, Anna.
14th of Elul, it says.
Okay, so it is the 13th of Elul, that is correct. So 13th of Elul, which is the month before the fall feast, the month of introspection and repentance before we hit those holy days. And the year, of course, is 5785. So, Shabbat Shalom, as always.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat.
That's Hebrew cursive for anybody that's interested. Okay, and today is actually a rather special day in the Gottlieb home. Because today we are celebrating my wife's birthday.
Yay.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you want them to know how old you are?
Sure.
29. She's- No, it says you will not bear false witness against your neighbor or anything else. My lovely wife is turning 56 years old. It doesn't look a day older than 29.
Yeah. What about that lying?
That is not a lie. So happy birthday to Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Aw, thank you.
It is wonderful, yes. And of course we have festivities planned. Nothing big, but no trips to the Riviera, I'm afraid.
No, I know.
Yes. But we will all be with you all day today.
Oh, yay. Excuse me. Yay.
Yeah. Even when you watch Gutfield.
Uh-huh. I know.
Mm.
I only get this opportunity twice a year, so I might as well take it.
Absolutely. Mother's Day and your
Mother's
birthday,
Day
right?
and my birthday, yeah.
Okay. What's going on in the world? We are sort of past an anniversary, an unhappy anniversary. This past week, we marked the 700th day of the war in Gaza, the war against our enemies, after it was triggered on October 7th, 2023. So to this is day 701, and we still have 48 remaining hostages. It's believed that most of them, of course, have died, unfortunately. And there's anywhere from 10 to 20 left alive, we're not sure. Interestingly, Israel started a new campaign in the Gaza Strip, and for those who aren't familiar with it, the Gaza Strip, just to clear that up for you, is a tiny piece of land in Israel that belongs to us, but that in 2005 we gave back to the Palestinians. I say back because they had control of it before. We had control of it before then, and it's just gone hand to hand, back and forth. In 2005, we surrendered it to the Palestinians with the caveat that they would not attack us from it. And in 2005, the day after we did it, guess what they started doing?
Not attacking us.
Because in Islam, they teach that it's okay to lie to your enemies. So it's literally taught as part of their doctrine, deception. So they lied, we believed them because we're stupid, and they attacked us and killed us. So Israel has started an operation where we are literally clearing Gaza of Hamas. It's slow, it's tedious, it's dangerous, but we started in northern Gaza here, and we're just going from northern Gaza and sweeping south.
Good.
And we are telling the civilians what we do before we do it. Mm-hmm. I know that seems strange from a military strategy point of view, because wouldn't that give the enemy a chance to hide or flee? It does. Mm-hmm. But it also spares the civilian lives. So we are doing that, and most of the people are fleeing south, which is good. After an area, is cleared in northern Gaza, then we allow civilians back in.
They're vetting the civilians that are going back in, right?
I think they are. I don't know. We're dealing with approximately 2 million people here, so
Yeah.
it's difficult. And again, we will just eliminate Hamas from the entire thing. Every day now, you can see videos from the Israeli Defense Force website of blowing up more tunnels, of clearing more areas. Oh, and as a personal aside, and I'm just saying it's a coincidence, I actually reached out to the Prime Minister of Israel about a month ago, saying, why don't you just fill the tunnels with cement?
Oh.
Right? Not instead of blowing them up all the time. It's expensive to blow it up, and then you have the earth crashing, and there's holes.
Just
you gotta
fill
fill
them in,
everything.
right?
Yeah, fill them in. So literally a week later, there was a video on the IDF website of massive amounts of cement being poured into the tunnels. So I was like, I don't know if that was me or not, but it was cool. I was like, oh, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. Anywho, so
But how? I mean, the tunnel's big. How do you fill it up with a?
you fill it up with millions of cubic yards of cement.
I know, but how would you fill a whole tunnel?
They did it. You can see it on the video.
Fill the front and the end.
Huh?
You only have to fill the openings.
Is there only one opening?
No, usually
to
there's
it?
several to each
Oh,
tunnel.
so they have to go
Yeah.
to all the openings and fill them
And
up.
fill. Yep. It was
What
very
about
impressive.
if the hostages are held down there?
They make sure they're clear first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
That's,
Yeah, right? It was really cool. Anyway,
that sounds
so
impossible.
that's what they did. You should watch the video. It's very impressive. So hopefully, God willing, the war is coming to its closing chapters, not just for us as the Jewish people, but for the Palestinians who did not participate in the horrors of October 7th. Unfortunately, most Palestinians participated. Thousands and thousands of Palestinian quote-unquote civilians crossed the borders on October 7th and to rape and pillage and murder. So what can you say?
Give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah, exactly. So we will see. We'll see what happens. So we continue to covet prayer for all of this. Does anybody know what's going on with anti-Semitism in general, which has seen a spike greater than the pre-World War II spike of anti-Semitism globally?
No, I don't know.
Everyone's
Greater than the World War II. They're not putting us in the Holocaust.
No,
Pre-World War
just the
pre-World War
anti-Semitism,
II,
not the tax.
not the murder. Yeah. So pre-World War II, Benjamin. So
Okay.
not rude at all. We love our
It's
Benjamin.
still a problem with this.
We love our
We love our bin. That wasn't an attack at all. So, concerning that, everyone's favorite climate change warrior, Greta Thunberg, is heading towards Israel again with a flotilla. And this time she said, I don't care what they do to me, even if they throw me in prison, I'm going to help the Palestinians. About once or twice a day, she leaves a video on social media, which is the entire goal, by the way,
Right.
of this fiasco. And Israel has said, if you come here, we will put you in prison. This is the second time you've done this. So, which, of course, would just make her a martyr. My thinking is they should just put her in downtown Gaza. You know?
That's what I say. Let them go on shore. And
Muslim
see,
men do certain things to young ladies, so, if that's what she wants. I don't want her to get hurt, obviously. I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Well,
No, but
she's
once I-
she's
so-
been warned, though.
That's like an
I mean,
activist
that's
trying
like
to go to downtown Berlin in World War II. That's not a good idea.
that's like the State Department saying, "Don't travel to Iran. They don't like Americans." And then you get on a plane and go to Iran.
Yeah.
After checking the State Department website, you ask for it yourself.
And then you cry and scream that you got hurt or arrested. Or
yeah, and then
held
they'll blame
hostage.
Israel. Oh,
Of course,
Where
of
was
course they
Israel?
will.
Why wasn't Israel protecting Greta? And it's like, why didn't Greta use the brain she has in her head? And
The
you know,
government of Israel is telling her and also tell us, do not come. It is dangerous.
Right.
This is a war. You don't go to a war zone and expect to be safe. I don't want anything bad to happen to her or anyone, God forbid. But if they're going to jump into a fire pit, they're going to get burned.
What they need to borrow a ship from somebody, whether it's America or somebody, and block off the channel.
Well, they would have to block off the Mediterranean Sea.
Well, there has to
You can do
be,
it.
in order to get into Gaza, can you bring up the map?
I can.
In order to bring up to Gaza, can you make it bigger so you can see that
There you
ocean
go.
part?
The ocean's the blue part there.
No, I know. I mean, like, where the mouth of the thing is.
I mean, here's a bay. Is that what you're
Well,
looking
no,
at?
I mean, like zoom out. Zoom. Keep zooming.
You want more zooming?
Yeah, zoom.
Okay, there's Egypt, there's Israel.
There's got to be an
Mediterranean.
opening to the bay, right? I mean, there's got to be an opening to this big ocean.
No, it's one of the largest seas on Earth.
Oh. Well, couldn't you put a fleet right there to keep them from...
No, they'll just go around. They would just go around right here. or come from here, or come from here,
Yeah.
or come from here. But you can do a blockade on this tiny strip from here to here.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
More resources of Israel's Navy, of course. Our military is already stretched thin since we're fighting a war on 7, count them, 7 fronts right now.
Well, that's why I say they should borrow ships from somebody else. You know, like Germany or France or, well, France.
Well, Europe doesn't like us right now. Many nations in Europe are threatening to recognize a Palestinian state.
Oh, I know.
Except
I heard that
Germany's
Macron
doing
was
pretty
going
good.
to some conference.
Germany boycotted Israel a little bit 2 weeks ago. I don't know if they reversed that.
They did what?
Germany boycotted Israel a little bit 2 weeks ago. I don't know if they reversed that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a thing to do. Speaking of thing to do, how is anti-Semitism going along right now? So, this is the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, the CAM, and they help keep track of anti-Semitic events every day in the United States and around the world. So, what's been going on? Well, there have been meetings and things like that, right? Blah, blah, blah. But things continue to happen. For example, KSU in Kansas hired a Hamas-supporting professor. Because, what you do.
I think we forgot that Hamas is a terrorist organization, right?
Yeah, right. So, other things that have been going on. A knife-wielding man threatens Jews near Paris synagogue on September 2nd, right? And you can see Free Gaza here etched into the Holocaust Memorial in France. It's anti-Semitic. An Israeli man was attacked at the Santa Monica Pier in California by a crazy mob of pro-Palestinians, unfortunately. I can't help but notice he's mewing in that picture when he's showing his injury. An Israeli singer, David D'Or, was attacked with red paint during a concert in Poland. Let's see, Jewish educators leave New York Teachers Union. They had to separate because of their silence in anti-Semitism, unfortunately. A Belgian doctor this past week on September 1st listed a medical problem for diagnosis of a 9-year-old patient as being Jewish. That was one of her medical diagnoses. Her problem is allergies and being Jewish. Yeah. I'm sure nothing will happen to him. He's Muslim.
Of course.
Yes. Oh, what else? Oh, yeah. On September 1st, an elderly woman was stabbed in a grocery store in Canada because she was Jewish. I think she was 72 years old, if memory serves. But this is null. What about American campuses? Are they getting better since the Trump administration has stepped into office, for example?
Probably not.
They are not. So what's going on? These things happened this past week. So at the Oregon State University, graduate students and members of the faculty of the Gender and Sexuality Studies, right, released a statement posted to the Women Gender Sexuality Studies Department demonizing Israel, saying in part that graduate students and members of the faculty in Women Gender and Sexuality Studies at Oregon State University call for a ceasefire in Palestine, not in Israel. Palestine is not a country. Palestine will never be a country, right? We, the students and members, blah, 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 call for immediate ceasefire. We stand with men, women, and children who are facing threat of genocide and ethnic cleansing in Palestine. And this kind of demonization of Israel. Israel is not committing genocide. So, meanwhile, this past week at the University of California at Berkeley, posters were put out that screamed "Wanted" that targeted 2 Jewish University of California regents found on campus. Vocal Zionist and managing director of an anti-union. Did we go to Berkeley? Was it or UCLA?
I think it was UCLA.
Went to UCLA, okay. Yeah, okay. So this happened, another anti-Semitic incident. What about at the University of Massachusetts on the 3rd of September? So a bunch of crazy people again engaged in boycott of Israel, excluding scholars who receive funding from Israeli institutions. This is anti-Semitism, right? What about Columbia University? A student and former encampment spokesperson walked on campus on the first day of classes holding a sign reading, "Some of your classmates were IOF, Israeli Occupation, not Defense, Forces, committing crimes of genocide." Here's a picture of the unhappy student doing that very thing. Okay, well, again at Columbia as well on the 2nd, the University Apartheid Divest made up a coalition of 80 university students have been banned by Instagram for promoting violence, protested Hillel. Do you guys know what Hillel is?
No.
Yeah, that's a Jewish club on campus.
It's a Jewish club on college campuses. They had one at the University of Oklahoma. Yeah, and they're nice. It's just a group of students who who are Jewish or non-Jewish who are interested in Jewish things and respect Israeli culture. You get together and you talk, and you do meals and things like that. However, this club was targeted by these crazy people at Columbia, urging Jewish students to drop Hillel because it supports genocide. On the first, you guys are starting to see a pattern here, right?
Yeah.
This has all happened in the past week. All this, and it goes on and on and on and on, back into August.
I noticed these places are all liberal-run states.
Of course
colleges.
they are. Yeah. I was going to say Colorado has its own problems, but Colorado is liberal.
Yeah,
So.
and not that non-liberal states don't have their issues, because
They just hate
Palestinian
vaccines.
crazy supporters live in every state. But what'd you say, Joe? What'd you say?
We just hate vaccines. Conservative states.
Oh, we're not even going to talk about that. That's ridiculous. But
So a quick question. This isn't part of our Bible study today, but something that needs to be addressed. Is Israel committing genocide?
no.
Now, you know where I stand on this already. But the United Nations actually gave a definition of genocide recently. Does anybody
Uh-oh.
know what that definition is?
Well, if I know the liberals or the crazy loons, they probably says those who emotionally, suppress anyone.
Are you dead naming me?
That
That's
is
genocide.
making someone feel as if they can't live their life. That's genocide.
Okay, I just have to say this to the Gen Zers and millennials out there, and to some extras as well. Get a spine. Oh my gosh, grow up. Life is rough. You're going to be offended. Move on.
Yeah.
But actually, it's interesting. 2 of my kids actually shared this definition with me at separate times during this past week. And the UN defines genocide as the attempt, right, to eliminate a people group through murder or by moving them from their land. So trying to move somebody from their land is also genocide.
Well,
By this definition, what the United States did to the Native Americans, right,
Genocide.
and I'm part Apache,
Yeah, it
was
was
genocide.
genocide.
And
yeah.
it was.
I don't think anyone argues that.
It absolutely was. You remember the Trail of Tears?
Yeah.
You remember,
but we weren't moving them. We were killing them to
But
take
what-
their land. There's a
and,
big difference.
and
But wouldn't
Well, we
forcing,
moved them, huh?
but wouldn't forcing Jews out of Israel still be genocide? Doesn't
yes,
the other
and
end-
that is my point, Joshua. Israel's not committing genocide against Palestinians.
Well,
Quote unquote Palestinians. Palestinians have been trying to commit genocide against Israel since 1948. They've been murdering us. They've been trying to kick us off our land. By this definition, Israelis are the ones who are victims of genocide,
Yeah.
not quote unquote Palestinians.
Plus, Israel's only moving them, isn't moving them. They're saying kick Hamas out, and you can live there and just become part of
they
us.
want to clear Palestine of all Palestinians.
No, we don't.
They said
No, they
No,
don't.
they
no,
don't.
they want to clear
No.
They
Hamas.
literally said that the other day.
Who's they?
Israel?
Where?
No.
Show me.
I don't
just-
have it now.
Yeah, Benjamin has no evidence for it, so we don't have to believe it. So,
But Israel is telling everybody to move out so they can get Hamas, and then they're moving back in. How is that genocide? That is just smart.
yeah.
Like, get all the civilians. Now, see, Israel is darned if they do and darned if they don't. If they don't do anything, they get murdered. If they do something, they get the whole world after them. If they warn the civilians, then they're committing genocide. If they don't move the civilians and do what they need to do, then they're killing innocent people. So the world just needs to wake up and let Israel do what it needs to do, because no matter what they do, it's either genocide or murdering
Well, of
innocent
course.
people or
Well, of
becoming, whatever.
Yeah. So, by this definition, Israel is a victim of attempted genocide and has been since
It's
1948.
written in the books.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the current leader of Israel, as you all know, just gave a very prolonged speech on American media. I forget who it was with, CBN, I think. And he was asked blatantly about that. Do you want to remove all Palestinians from the land? And he said, absolutely not. That is not our goal, right? The goal, well, you look it up. It's Israel. Netanyahu's interview with CBN.
So we don't have to believe you.
Well,
the
look
week.
it up. If you want the evidence, look it up.
See, I can quote my source. You don't know what yours is. So,
I said I don't remember.
well, there you go. So, this is not a goal of Israel. This has never been a goal of Israel. Since 1948, the Palestinians, quote unquote, were granted a state by the United Nations. Right? They were granted a state by the UN. Did you guys know that? The Palestinians had their own state
Where is it?
in 1948.
Oh,
the
wow.
partition. And do you know what they did with that state?
Nothing.
They attacked us.
Yeah.
The next day after the state was declared for the Palestinians as well as for Israel, this was in May of 1948, they attacked us from like 5 different directions in an attempt to commit genocide against the Jewish people. So I agree with the United Nations definition of genocide as elucidated by my sons, and I agree that we have been a victim of that for nearly 80 years. All right. Having said that, that has nothing to do with our Bible study, but I thought it was interesting. We continue to need prayer. Pray for the living hostages who are left, if any of them are still alive. Pray for their families. Pray for the Jewish people. Pray for our safety and protection around the world, as anti-Semitism is at a higher level now than it's ever been in recorded history. No, Benjamin, they're not marching us into camps yet, but they would like to. And please pray for the Palestinian people, quote unquote, because they're made in the image of God and the Lord loves them. And pray for members of Hamas, that they might all come to a saving knowledge of Yeshua the Messiah. Okay.
I really wish they would just end by now.
Well, me too, Hannah. This war has gone on way too long. It's cost too many lives. So, having said that, it is again my lovely wife's birthday today, and we all appreciate her and love her very much. Joshua's the only one that appreciates her and loves her. Benjamin's trying to look things up to prove me wrong. And now my wife's name, thank you for not denying it, is Vicky. That actually is a short for what name?
Victoria.
Victoria. What does Victoria mean?
One who wins.
Meaning?
Victorious.
Victorious one, right? Victorious one. In Hebrew, it would be Teshua. Teshua. Victorious one. So today we're going to talk about victory, right? From a biblical perspective. Since your name, my dear beloved one, is the victorious one. First of all, do you feel very victorious?
In the Lord.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. With the Lord, I could do anything. So I know that He's gotten me this far in life. So yeah, I feel victorious.
Well, it begs a question. How do we define victory?
Well, victory is like when you win against an opponent.
Good. Okay. So winning against an opponent. So can I spell opponent? There we go. So the word victory itself implies war, right? Interesting. A war against whom?
Well,
Life.
against well, there's lots of wars. Like there's,
Joshua. That was like super teenage depression sounding. Life, man. Life sucks.
well, there's a war against the flesh, and then there's war against spiritual, attacks.
Okay. So from a biblical perspective, we war against, right? Flesh. What else?
Spiritual, like the demonic.
Spiritual enemies, right? Demons, etc. Anything else?
Our mind,
Ooh. Our minds. Anything else?
other people.
Do we war against other people?
Well, spiritually we do. I mean,
So would that go under spiritual enemies?
well, yeah, I guess so.
Could we say we also war against our culture?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because culture, human culture, has always been against God. Always. There is not one human design culture in history that has ever been open to and receiving of God. Unfortunately. So this is a lot of battling going on, a lot of fighting. How are we doing with this? And when I say we, I mean the church.
Depends on the church, I guess. But
Globally.
globally, I don't know, because American churches are different than other places. But I don't think that we're doing very well. At least the culture part. I don't think the flesh part either. Definitely not our minds. And definitely not spiritual. Okay, no,
So not so good.
Not so good.
Not so good. All right. Why?
Well, I think that if we allow the world to change the church instead of the church changing the world, then all those things have been compromised.
All right, so let's take it one at a time then, okay? So first of all, let's look at the flesh. What do you mean when you say a war against the flesh?
Well, I mean, like, the divorce rate in the church is just the same as the divorce rate in the secular world.
So I'm going to back you up even from there. What do you mean by the flesh?
The flesh mean like, well, it could mean like our own things, like feeding into what our fleshly desires are, like whether it's sex or drugs, alcohol, food.
Are you talking about lusts of the flesh?
Yeah.
Does the Bible talk about that anywhere?
Yeah.
Where would that be?
Corinthians? Was it Corinthians? Hold on.
You tell me.
I'll find it. I just have to close out my things here. Yeah, put aside, save them. Is it 1 John? 1 John 2:16. Yeah. Excuse me. What about it? 1 John 2. 1 John 2:16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and of the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Okay, so where are you?
In 1 John 2:16.
1 John 2:16. So let's go there. I thought I had my Bible open. Let's see. 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. We will have the Greek, right, on the right side of the screen. Let me grab my cute little pencil here, right here. And the English here on the left. So 1 John chapter 2, and you said verse 16?
Yeah.
All right, and you already read it. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the boastful pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world. So what is the lust of the flesh?
Lust of the flesh is like, well, from what I understand, it's like sexual sin or adultery, things that feed the flesh, like even food addiction or smoking or drugs or whatever. Things that are fleshly. They're not spiritually.
So this is interesting because the word is sarkos in Greek, right, which means flesh. Doesn't mean mind.
Right.
Doesn't mean emotions. Doesn't mean psyche. Doesn't mean spirit.
Right.
It means our physical bodies that we have right here. What is that lust after?
Usually, like temporary things.
Like?
Well, our bodies can lush.
Lush.
It can be a lush. Our bodies can lust after things that make us feel good. I don't know, would that be a mind thing though? Like addiction in a way?
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
your whole body is, your flesh is affected when you're addicted to things.
Absolutely.
You get sweaty and all that kind of stuff when you're detoxing. So
nobody likes to be physically uncomfortable, right?
Right.
We like to be comfortable physically. Be warm and safe and secure. We don't like to be in pain.
right.
So when our flesh is unhappy, it begins to get our attention. Our flesh is programmed to want things. It's programmed to want food. It's programmed to want sex. It's programmed to want comfort. And it's not wrong to have these desires. They're programmed into us.
Right.
What is wrong is when they start to control us, or when we start to seek out those things for those things.
Right.
And Paul talks about this in another verse that I know is right on the tip of your tongue, Galatians chapter 5.
Yes, that was right on the
Right
tip of my
on the
tongue.
tip of your tongue, absolutely. Galatians chapter 5. And this is a very famous verse, right? Going all the way down to verse 17. Do you want to read it?
Sure.
Thank you. It's on the screen for you too.
For the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one another, so that you do not do the things that you wish.
Now this is very interesting, right? So the word for flesh here again is flesh, right? Sarz? Did I say that right, Joshua? You're better Greek than I
I think
am.
it might be a case of silk.
Is that sark? Thank you. Okay. And that again means flesh, or our bodies. These lust against the Spirit of God. Oh, that's interesting. Does that mean that when I'm hungry, my flesh is lusting against God's Spirit?
Yes.
No.
No, I think that's an indication
That's-
that you need
that
to
you need to
feed
eat,
your,
right?
fuel your cells and stuff.
Right. However, if I let that hunger go, that hunger can start to swallow everything in my life, including my love for God, and it will lust against, literally fight against God's Spirit. If I follow just the inclinations of my flesh, I will give in to these lusts. And I cannot follow God's Spirit and follow the lusts of the flesh at the same time. You can't. You're either going to do one or the other. Oh, that's very interesting. Makes one go, so what do we do with our lusts then? And this talks about not just the lust of the flesh, but also talks about the other verse talked about the lust of the eyes
Lust of the
and the
eyes.
pride of life. What do we do with these lusts? We have to eat.
We have to eat.
Do we have to have sex?
You don't have to, but I mean, you have to procreate.
I mean, yes. One, you need to be married first.
But
Please remember that.
in a responsible manner. Yeah.
Correct. But will I die if I don't have sex?
No.
Absolutely, I will. Yes. No,
I guess it depends on who you talk to.
I'm kidding. But our bodies are programmed for that, right?
Right.
That's just a natural thing. But it won't kill me if I don't. If I don't eat, that will kill me. Right. So they're different degrees. So what do we do with this?
Well, I mean, the Lord says, we have to take up our cross daily. And sometimes on our cross, we have to lay those things down. We have to say, okay, we're going to choose to surrender to the Lord and choose to not give in to that temptation. Because
Okay.
He's given us power and authority over those things.
Even Yeshua himself was tempted with the lusts of the flesh, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was fasting. Do you remember the 40 days in the Judean wilderness, which is an amazing place, by the way, if you've never been there? His first temptation was not, sexual or world dominance. That came later. That was a
Right.
temptation. His first temptation was food.
Yeah.
Even though he knew he was supposed to be fasting. So let no one say, and we're in James chapter 1, let no one say when he is being tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself does not tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he's carried away and enticed by his own lust. There's that word again. Right? I can lust for something. I can turn a need into a lust. That lust will come against God's Spirit, Galatians 5, and then it will lead to temptation. Right? So if I'm hungry, instead of having a nutritious, reasonable meal, I can lust and just gorge myself. Did you know in the book of Ezekiel it talks about the sins of sexual brokenness, and it lists homosexuality specifically? It says that one of the signs of that is an abundance of food.
Oh, really?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Gluttony.
Gluttony.
Well, that would make sense because back in the Roman...
this was
the Roman-
Ezekiel. This is like
This is like
500 or 600
Babylon
years.
stuff.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I mean, if you think about the Roman Empire, that's what they did. They had orgies and feasts.
That's right.
So they always had food and sex
That's
side by
interesting
side.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So then it says, when lust is conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it's fully matured or grown, gives forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers. That's how it works. Usually it's not that sin comes knocking on the door and says, yo, here I am. Usually it's an oozing, gradual building up of lust, right? And instead of focusing on our King, God and His Spirit, who can deliver us from the destructive death of sin, we focus on the lust. And the more we focus on it, it grows more and more and more until it wipes us out.
I think that's one of the problems with a first world country is that we have drawn the line. Hold on.
No, not you. Hannah's laughing.
Oh, we have skewed the lines of need and want.
Oh.
You know that we say food. When you get hungry. We don't, because we have a vast, and I'm saying God has blessed our country, definitely.
Yes.
But we have a vast amount of choices, and that we don't necessarily eat just to stay alive. We eat to fill the desire that we have. Does that make sense?
I mean, the desire that the body has for food?
No, the desire that we have mentally, we don't eat to say, I need, and I think that's what our, the Health and Human Services tries to get everybody to do is food plate, eat to survive, not eat just to, because everybody would eat McDonald's every day.
I mean,
if they could. No, not you, but I mean, but eating McDonald's once in a while and then eating, the portions that you have on your plate. That's eating to feed your body, to keep you healthy, get your life, keep your life on track. But then we choose, all these other things instead. And so we have been burdened with the
wealth of like.
well, our
We're spoiled.
we are spoiled, but we have been given a horrible opportunity to feed our flesh.
Yeah, food's more of it's a luxury in the United
Yeah.
States, and we take it for granted.
not just the U.S., but most Western nations, right?
Yeah.
Mankind has spent most of our 6,000 plus year history seeking food.
Right.
And we're either shepherds and farmers and things like that. And it's all food-centric.
Right.
But now, in Western cultures, Western countries, we're so advanced, we're so wealthy. Whatever we want, it's a 20-minute trip to the store, and we can buy 25 gallons of ice cream, or I could buy 18 pounds of hamburger, or whatever I want, and I can just gorge myself.
Right.
We don't have that issue here. In most of the world, still, even today, life revolves around food. You wake up every morning, you go out and try to get enough food to survive that day. You go to bed, you rinse and repeat. And that's how they live, literally hand to mouth. So I agree with you. Our wealth has fed our gluttony, unfortunately. So these are some of those verses we just talked about, we just looked up, concerning the lust of the flesh and how this lust comes against the Spirit of God. Okay, so this is a battle, this is a war, getting back to the issue of victory. How are we doing with this aspect of the war?
Pretty poorly, I think.
I don't think that and if we're just, it's not necessarily about food, but definitely sexual temptation.
Another appetite.
There's a lot of pastors that, are in, pornography and having affairs. And, that's
Pastors are the only ones that do that, actually.
No, I'm not saying that. But
What?
you said in as the church.
Yes, as the church.
And that's
Oh, you mean our leadership?
our leadership. And if our leadership's doing it, and I know that probably people in the congregation are probably doing it too.
I can testify
I'm
to
not
that.
trying
yes.
to judge or make any kind of statement on anyone, but when you have there was a Pew Research thing done many years ago. I don't know how it's changed now, but I doubt it's just any different. And 20% of the church is actually born again.
Yeah.
So that means you have 100 people. Only about 20 of those people are actually going to be born again. So
Right.
the other 80% are still living in the flesh, are still
Right.
living in whatever.
So they're living victim to these lusts.
Right.
And feeding them. Yes.
Because religion, if you have just a religious viewpoint of life,
Right.
that doesn't keep you from doing the things that you want to do.
Right.
Being born again does, because you have conviction and condemnation, and you know that you know what's right. Your spirit's corrected and redeemed. But there's a lot of like alcoholism or things that feed the flesh within the church.
It's true. So we're not doing very well.
No.
So how can this change?
Well, we need to surrender to the Lord. I mean, if we are calling ourselves born again, then we need to act like that. We need to act like we're born again. Not just be born again, but act it, live it. We need to be the hand. Because to be a Christian means to be Christ-like. And Christ was never out of control of his flesh, his mind, his emotions, or anything.
Are you saying Galatians 5:16?
I am.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. So back to Galatians in verse 16. And the answer is literally right in front of us, as you said. And what does that say? Galatians 5:16.
But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not carry out the desire of the flesh.
Walk in the Spirit. And you will not carry out the desire of the flesh. And again, the word for flesh there is sarkos in Greek. So, walk in the Spirit. Well, what does it mean to walk in the Spirit?
Well, for anyone to walk in the Spirit, you have to have the Spirit. So you have to be born again.
Okay, so good. Well, that's a good point. You have to be born again first. Okay, what else?
And then you have to daily lay everything down before him and say...
Does Yeshua talk about that?
Yeah. Well, he says take up your cross.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I looked that up. That's it. And there's another one, too, that I like. I'll screenshot that so I remember. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Matthew 10:38.
Okay, Matthew 10:38. So let's go there. Matthew chapter 10, verse 38. Oh, wait, sorry. And here we are. What does it say?
Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me.
But does that mean then that, I bumped my toe on the couch going to bed one night and it was dark, and that toe pain is just my cross to bear? And I don't know why I'm from the South, but there we go.
No.
That doesn't mean that. What does it mean to take up our cross?
Well, I like what Philippians says. It says, yes, to know the power of his resurrection and participation in his sufferings, become like him in his death. So when you take up the cross, you are literally putting everything down and suffering for righteousness' sake and for him.
So what you're saying is if we're born again, we're made new, we don't belong to ourselves anymore.
Right.
So our ambitions, our goals, our will, our thoughts, everything doesn't belong to us.
Right.
It belongs to him. So we're supposed to daily die to ourselves. It's not what I want, it's what you want. Not my will, but your will. Or could we say Galatians 2:20? Mm-hmm. Which is what? We're just all over the Bible today.
Hold on.
Joshua feigns enthusiasm.
I haven't figured out how to work all of the Blue Letter Bible yet. I always have to get out and I get back in.
Oh no, really? Oh, that's awful.
I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ live in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me.
It's not a very good translation. Literally in the Greek it says by the faith of the Son of God, or literally the Son of God's faith. But I've been crucified with Christ. I'm not alive. Right?
Yeah.
In fact, later on in Galatians, Paul says very pointedly, you are dead. He says you're dead. And your life is hid with Christ in God. Mm-hmm. Period. So we're not alive. So if we're not alive, that means all these fleshly lusts really don't matter. Because we're not alive anymore.
Right.
We're dead and our lives are now hid with Christ in God. How can you be alive and hid with Christ in God if you're dead? Because you have a new life. Mm-hmm. So, this is how we conquer that. This is how we walk in the Spirit. We realize that we're dead. But what if I really, really, really want to do this, whatever it is, that I know I oughtn't, but I really want to do it? Well, it doesn't matter if you want to. You're dead. Mm-hmm. Can a corpse get up and attack a camp of people hiding in Alexandria? Maybe on The Walking Dead they can, but not in real life. So, this is interesting. So, that's how we get victory. We get victory in this war by dying. Huh.
Yeah.
Fascinating. All right, we have time to conquer one more of these things. We looked at the flesh, Do you want to look at spiritual enemies then?
Sure.
Okay. What do we mean by this?
Well, that's that's obviously either demonic or those that are not saved. They do come against us.
I mean, we're not talking physical enemies.
No, it's all spiritual. Because sometimes people that aren't saved will like not like you for some reason, and then they'll be like, I don't know why, but I don't like you, and we know why.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
What if you're
yeah.
just a trash person?
Huh?
What if you're just a trash person and no one likes you?
I'm a trash person?
No. What if you're first?
Oh, that person? Oh. Well, I mean, it's possible, but I think we underestimate the power of the spiritual being. You know, like how our flesh and our emotion and our thought processes are all guided by our spiritual condition. You know, like when you go into a room of unsaved people and you know they're cursing and you know just acting out, and you don't click with them or you don't have that sense of
there's an innate distance.
Yeah.
You're like, these are not my people. This is not where I belong.
Yeah.
So does that mean then that it's God versus the devil when we talk about spiritual warfare? Because this is spiritual warfare we're discussing.
Well, it's not God versus anybody because God wins no matter what.
Okay, so it's not.
It's us versus.
Okay, no.
Well, it's not us.
Not God versus the devil, right? It's not. God has already won. God is almighty. He doesn't need to verse anybody.
Right.
Because he has infinite authority and power.
Right.
It would be like, I don't know, take your pick. Andre the Giant, this amazing, huge guy from a long time ago. If you're too young to know who that is, look it up. He was amazing. Versus a tiny paramecium somewhere, which is a one-celled organism. It's not even a contest.
Yeah.
You can't even say that. So it's not God versus the devil because God is almighty and has all power. So it's whom versus the devil?
Us.
I think it is like what Joshy said. It's us, but it's mostly the flesh versus the devil.
I think our flesh likes to give in.
It
to
does,
the devil.
but the enemy uses our flesh a lot.
He
and
does.
our emotions.
So it's not our flesh against the devil. It's
our
what?
soul,
It's
our spirit.
If the only way we can be against the devil is if we become his enemy. And the only way we can become his enemy is by being born again. If you are not born again, you're not the devil's enemy.
Right.
You're his ally.
It's our Father.
So-
it's our God that's that makes the devil our enemy.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I guess it's God's chosen people, Jews and Christian Gentiles, versus the enemy.
Yeah, and ally.
Because
That's what ally
just
is,
by
yeah.
the mere fact of association of, like, say, if my dad was Donald Trump, right? And people would, because they don't like my father.
He's old enough to be your dad, by the way.
He is old enough, yeah. Good at it, East Coast.
Yeah, I know. That's how that.
Who knows what
yeah,
my parents did.
I don't know. Your mom was an amazing woman, but she wasn't always born again. I'm just saying.
But if everyone hates my dad, then through me, they're going to express that hatred.
Yes, because they can't touch your
me.
dad.
Right, because they
Right?
can't touch
your
the
dad is safely ensconced in the White House, so
Right.
it's secure. But you have to go out and buy cucumbers or something.
Right, I
So
know. So they're like,
they can try to beat you up.
it's like, when Trump was in office, the first president, and it's not political, I'm not making it political, but it's an example. And the Speaker of the House, I think it was Huckabee, was sitting in a restaurant.
Huckabee has never been Speaker of the House.
Sarah Huckabee, or not? She was a press
She
secretary.
was the press secretary.
Press
yeah.
secretary. She was out with her family eating, and people they were like, whenever you see a Republican in
Yeah.
office, attack them, and that's what they did. But it wasn't because they hated Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah.
It was because they hated Trump,
Yeah.
and Sarah Huckabee worked for Trump.
Correct.
So that's similar. The devil doesn't like God. He's fighting against God. He's trying to steal.
I mean, I don't
everything
think the devil
not
is
that he can
fighting
win.
against God, because the devil, being that paramecium, knows it'll never conquer Andre the Giant.
Well, it's kind of like when you say people who get upset with the Bible it's because they're mad at God. Or
Yeah,
they're,
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
he's not necessarily fighting to win, but he's fighting to hurt.
So
And
he's
the thing that
fighting
hurts
over
God-
the souls of people.
Right, yeah.
So it's not a battle for victory. The devil already knows he's lost. Revelation
Right.
20:10, right? The devil wants to take down as many as he can with them by stealing, kidnapping, or ensnaring the souls of men
Right, exactly.
to make man his ally against
Right.
God. We become like our dad.
Mm-hmm.
If our dad is the Almighty, blessed is He, the God of Abraham, then slowly through a period of years, sometimes it takes for those of us who are stubborn, we become kinder and more loving and more
Right.
gentle and more understanding. We stop doing bad things and we start doing good things, generally, right? If our dad is the devil, and you remember Yeshua addressed some of the Jewish authorities and said, "You are like your father, the devil."
Mm-hmm.
If our dad is the devil, we become like him, resistant to everything that has to deal with God, resistant to thoughts of compassion, mercy, and grace until we die. How interesting.
Yeah.
Give me more, Victorious One.
Well, see, I think that that is the ultimate victory, and because you say how do we get victory? Because our Father is the ultimate victor, right? I mean, you can save a world, you can save a planet, but when you save all humanity through one sacrifice, sacrificing yourself, you have given the world the ultimate victory. And because of it, because we are in Him, we have that victory. And we don't need to fight the enemy. It's not really even a fight. We make it a fight because we struggle with him, but we don't have to. We have the ultimate victory. We don't have to listen to the enemy saying, "Oh yeah, you really want 5 pieces of
You mean if you're born
cake,"
again?
Yeah.
Now the devil, even though the devil's, I mean, if you try to compare it to God, it's no comparison.
No.
The devil's powerful, right?
Yeah.
More so than people. The devil's not trying to fight God. The devil's not that stupid.
Right.
But the devil does want to slip us and deceive us into a place where we become God's enemies as well.
Right.
So he's not going to come on the front door and say, "Hi, this is the devil. Will you let me in?" He's going to come by the back way and try to entice us with those lusts we talked about before to ensnare us to death. Because all sin is a hatred of God. All sin is an expression of hatred against God. I'll say it again. All sin is an expression of hatred against God. But what if I just have an addiction, and I know it's bad and I don't want to do it, but I keep doing it? Is that hatred against God?
I think it's rebellion.
Yeah,
At
and
that
isn't
point.
rebellion hatred?
Yeah.
The Bible says in Romans that the earthly mind cannot be submitted to God and His law. In fact, it's hostile to God. That's what Paul says, which is why we can say this with great confidence.
Yeah.
If our earthly mind is not submitted to God, if it's hostile to Him, then all sin that we commit with that mind is an expression of hatred against God. Period. We may not acknowledge it, we may not like that, we may not know it, but it's true. So we really do wrestle against whom?
Flesh and blood.
We wrestle against flesh and blood?
Uh-huh.
No, we do not wrestle against
Oh,
flesh
we
and
don't
blood.
wrestle against, but we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but the power of
Principalities.
principalities of the air, right? Or
Yeah,
something like that.
against the evil powers of this present age. And where is that?
I'm looking it up right now.
Did you say it was in Ephesians?
Ephesians 6:12.
What?
I found it.
Okay, well, let's go there. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. I had absolute trust in you. There we go. Okay. So, what does it say?
For we do not struggle against flesh and blood, and against the rulers, against the authorities, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Wait a minute. But against.
Yeah.
Sorry. For we struggle not against flesh and blood, but against
There we
the
go.
rulers, against the authorities, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places.
So when Paul here, and this is written by Paul, as you may remember in Greek, so when Paul is talking about rulers here, he's not talking about, we're wrestling against Donald Trump, or we're wrestling against Joe Biden, or we're wrestling against Starmer, or Macron, or take your pick. He's not talking about that.
No.
He's talking about spiritual
the
forces.
heavenly place.
Yeah, demonic forces, right? Demonic authorities. Demonic ruled forces of darkness. The spiritual wickedness in the heavenlies, right?
Yeah.
That's what we wrestle against. It's spiritual. This is dead, right? Remember that in Galatians? This is not. We have to fight this. This we surrender. God will take care of it. We won't sin.
Right.
This, we're in a constant battle against. It's a different dynamic. How do we fight?
You have to fight spiritually.
How do we fight spiritually? I agree. You
Yeah.
can't fight a spiritual force with a gun.
No, you can't.
Right.
No.
Or a knife.
It's like going to watching a movie and they try to kill a ghost with like a gun or something. It's like
Or capture it in a box and
right.
hold it in Manhattan.
Right. First of all, you have to seek out the one who has the power to destroy the spirit. You know, like why do you fear man when you should fear God, because he can destroy your spirit. You know.
Well, you make a very interesting point. Should we be afraid of demonic forces?
No.
Of ghosties in the night, of shadows in the corner, of the beastie under the bed? No. If we're born again, those things are no fear for us whatsoever. They have no power over us.
Right.
They can try to make us afraid or unsettled. They can try to attack us. But in the end, they are nothing. And God calls them that much. And the demonic forces behind, like idolatry, he calls them nothing in Isaiah. He says they're nothing. Don't worry about it.
Right.
How do we fight in this new covenant? Glad you asked, because the victorious one will tell us how.
Therefore, take up the full armor of God so that you will be able to resist the evil day, and having done everything to stand firm.
What does it mean by armor of God? Is that something physical I can take up?
No, not. It's spiritual.
It's spiritual. It's not man's armor, it's God's armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what does that mean?
So we stand firm, therefore, having girded your loins with truth,
Truth,
and having put on the breastplate of
righteousness,
having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of
the
peace.
gospel,
In addition to all, having taken up the shield of faith, in which you will be able to extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Also receive the helmet of salvation. And the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Word of God. So this is not a physical armor. This is spiritual armor. If I could see you in the spirit right now, would I see you clothed with armor?
Probably.
No.
Well, I mean, all of these things are Jesus.
Yes.
All of these things are aspects of who Jesus is. And if you saw me in the spiritual realm and I am covered in his blood and he lives within me, then you would see that, because he is the authority and the power in which gives my spirit the ability to fight spiritual battles.
Yes, Yeshua is the armor of God. Now, if we're born again, we already have him in our lives. He's in our heart, if you will. The Bible says that, right? So what does it mean to stand in this evil day by taking him up? It means daily surrendering to him, that we might walk in his truth, right? His truth protects our loins, from which comes our creativity, symbolically. His righteousness protects our heart, right? The gospel of peace directs our steps. Faith protects us from the deception of the enemy. In fact, it says faith, and Yeshua is our expression of faith, right? We saw that in Galatians 2:20. Faith is able to destroy all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Every doubt, every fear, every unsettlement, faith is able to destroy. Salvation helps us remember who we are by protecting our head, our mind, our thoughts. And the Word of God is His Spirit, which, by the way, is an offensive weapon, not just defensive.
Right.
So, by the way, is a shield. Shield in Rome was an offensive as well as defensive weapon. So, we win this war by taking up God's armor daily. Did I spell armor wrong? Armor? There we go.
Yeah.
And,
There's no Yu-Gi-Oh.
thank you, because we're not
We're
American.
American.
Yeah, we're Americans. We didn't put U's there. So, God's armor is Yeshua, daily. And that takes us back to that idea of daily dying to ourselves. All right, and we have run out of time. You have guided us through a good Bible study today, Victorious One.
Thank you.
Some good things to remember. Closing thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, queries, conclusions.
No. I think if we put on the armor of God every day, then we won't have to worry about the battle, you know, because I think in
What do you mean worry about the battle?
well, a lot of us, like, it's also, while we're taking up the cross, we also carry the burden of the things that happen to us every day. And that's the whole reason why we have the cross, is to cast those burdens upon him and let them die. So we don't have to worry about, we don't have to be, oh, what am I going to eat today? Or, you know, am I ever going to find a relationship that I can have a healthy sexual relationship with? Or, you know, I don't need to do the sin that I have been or trained myself to want. You know, I don't have to do that. We no longer have that thing no longer has authority over us. And when we stay in the, when we remind ourselves to put on that armor of Jesus every day, then that little by little will break that stronghold that sin and addiction has on us.
It does, absolutely. And sometimes that deliverance comes instantly. Sometimes that deliverance comes over many years. But if we are surrendering daily to Yeshua and letting him, his Spirit guide us, the deliverance will come. He promised it would.
Yeah.
And I've seen it 1,000 times in so many lives. It's a good word. All right, on that note, we are done. I love this painting, by the way.
I know,
Super cool. It actually
great.
looks like the Sea of Galilee. You can see the mountains in the distance. And
Really?
yeah, it's really nice.
It's so white.
Right?
Love it.
Beautiful. You could paint that.
You could totally do that.
Water is hard to paint.
Water is hard to paint. Yes.
I could. I could
Yeah,
try.
You could try. Absolutely.
Who made this?
I have no idea who made this. All right. So we are done for today. So that is it. Thank you guys for your attention. Yes.
Yep.
And for your feedback and thoughts. I know you didn't want to be here, so thank you for patiently enduring. Thanks to my lovely wife, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks to you guys as well, big thumbs up, for joining us today. Thank you so much. As always, let us know if you like this format where you can see the screen and everything we're doing, or if you would prefer to see our mugs. So it's up to you. Meanwhile, please realize we'll be here next week, God willing, same time, same channel. Don't forget to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and for the salvation of the Jewish people.